with the procession while all our graduates and dignitaries file into the arena. So let's begin with the procession. Okay, thank you very much. Now we want to move to the very next item in the agenda. We will want to sing the national anthem. So I would like us to rise for the national anthem. Thank you very much. Please, may we all be seated. I'd like to once again welcome everyone to this very special occasion, the virtual graduation ceremony of the Virtual Institute of Capacity Building for Higher Education, I'd like to recognize once again very special people in our midst. We especially mention the NUC Executive Secretary, who is also the Executive Head and visitor to VICBHE. This is no other person than Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid, members of the NUC Strategy Advisory Committee, STRAFCOM. I recognize as well the Vice Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Olufemi Peters, our graduating participants of this VICBHE Module 2, family and friends, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It promises to be an exciting meeting for us, and I'm sure we will enjoy it very much. I'd just like to please let's abide by the ethics of meeting. Let's all be muted except when called to speak. And I also want to quickly mention that for all our speakers, we remind you to keep to time and not to exceed the allotted time period. So without wasting time.
Yeah, sorry, I just muted everybody. So only the people who are allowed to speak will have the privilege to speak. So please unmute yourself, Dr. Additional, and then go.
Okay, thank you very much. So we are moving to the very next item in the agenda, which is for us to have welcome and highlights of the training by the Director, Facilitator General, and President of GUNI Africa, no other person than distinguished Professor Peter Okebukola, OFR.
Thank you so very much. On behalf of the NUC Strategy Advisory Committee, I welcome you all to this graduation ceremony for Module 2 participants. Welcome in particular our special guests of honor that you can see on the screen. A special welcome to Cynthia Jackson Hammond, who is the President of the Council for Higher Education, Accreditation, the umbrella organization for accrediting agencies in the US. Undoubtedly the #1 quality assurance outfit or organization or entity in the world. I also welcome members of the Chair International Quality Group, CIQG. I note the presence of Stamenka Uvali-Strumbich, Professor Edvig Vargas. Stamenka Uvali-Strumbich, as you will recall, dear participants, was a keynote speaker during Module 1, which we had about 4 months ago. Professor Varghese from Vice Chancellor from India, Professor Chita Concepcion V. Piano from the Philippines. I'd like to especially appreciate the Executive Secretary, National Universities Commission, His Academic Eminence Abubakar Adamu Rashid, members of the NUC Strategy Advisory Committee, and of course, Professor Olufemi Peters, the Vice Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria, undoubtedly the number one, yes, Open University in Africa that is powering this training program. Maria Luisa Lopez Chicote, our beautiful president of African Quality Assurance Network, and all the 74 grading facilitators, mainly from the National Open University of Nigeria. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an intellectual marathon, which we ran for 6 weeks. And let me give you a feel of a weekly sequence. On Monday of any week, we have the live lectures, which all our participants must attend. So if you don't attend the live lectures, you are penalized by way of some marks deduction from your aggregated total. So you've got to be present. You see, we run a delivery system which does not depend only on your collecting course materials and then coming to do exam. You got to come. We want to see you physically. And then on Tuesdays, we had the practical track lesson videos, which our participants downloaded and watched at their convenience. On Wednesdays, You got to come to class. You got to come to contribute to the discussion forum. The topic is posted on Tuesday, that by Wednesday, everybody is there to contribute to the discussion forum, which is graded, and you earn a score for that week. On Thursdays, we had some live lectures, but largely we had 3 days on Thursday. But on Fridays, all the participants went through a test. They took a test for everything that we did during the course of the week. That gives some participants some very frightening, a few frightening moments, but they all did very well. And on Saturdays, that's the heart of the matter. On Saturdays, we had all-day practicals. This training is not theoretical, it's not just conceptual, it is practicals. We had practicals hands-on, scoring real-life scenarios of episodes during site visits for programmatic and institutional accreditation. So it was quite exciting, very arduous, I tell you, on Saturdays. So this was the weekly sequence for, wait for it, 6 whole weeks. Who were our participants? We had about 600 senior academics, but you see, only about 445 managed to get through the process. Of these, we are 62 vice chancellors. Yes, vice chancellors in the British system that we run are presidents of universities. Can you imagine that presidents of universities can participate? 62 of them started the marathon, and 16 of them successfully completed the course with distinction. The others earned credit, merit, and the rest of them. But 16 vice chancellors earned distinction during the course of this very intensive training. And 10 were former vice chancellors. 10 former vice chancellors also completed the course with distinction. And this included Shola Akinrade, Professor Shola Akinrade, former vice chancellor of first inaugural vice chancellor of Osun State University, and Professor Samson Anyolaja, former vice chancellor of Crawford University. And we had two NUC directors who completed the training. Wait for it. Dr. Biodun Salu is director of academic planning. And then Dr. Miriam Sali, who is going to be speaking in a little while, was also a participant. And we had a chairman board of trustees. That's the chairman board of regents of one of our leading private universities. That's Samuel Adegboyega University. Professor Samson Fatokun also completed this course and earned a distinction. And we had one head of National Quality Assurance Agency from Malawi, Dr. Ambulmulire Npiri. We had facilitators from all over the world. We had Jamil Samil gave us the opening keynote. It was brilliant. And then we had perspectives from QAA in the UK. Douglas Blackstock, who is the chief executive of QAA, was here to teach us about accreditation in the UK environment. We had insight on the accreditation in the CAMES area, 19 countries, by Zachary Lire. Professor Chita, Philippines, I mentioned it earlier. Oh, it was brilliant. Brilliant, Chita, brilliant. And then from Botswana, we had Dr. Fitolo Malaw Modiega, Dr. Nadim Khan, all the way from UAE, gave us insights into accreditation in the UAE. South Africa, Belasata, Ijegu, Ethiopia, Professor Johansen Egypt. Oh, she was part of Module 1 and she was part of Module 2, and she gave us very deep insight into accreditation in Egypt. Went to Japan. Professor Siun Tutia gave us so all of these people were members of faculty, Nigeria, and then we had Jonathan Mba, AAU African. And of course, we're going to have today the closing keynote by Judith Eaton of Chair. Now, we studied the accreditation systems in Nigeria, Botswana, 19 CAMES countries, UK, Japan, the Philippines, Malawi, South Africa, and the US. And after all of this, these participants that are graduating today took a comprehensive end of course examinations. Everything from the start to the finish. They had a comprehensive exam, and then they did each person end of course project. And each project was a comparative analysis of accreditation systems in 4 countries that the participant will select. Minimum 7,000 words. It's a harvest of wonderful experiences. So graduates that are coming out today that we are going to be celebrating today, what are the knowledge and skills that are coming with? Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, these graduates have acquired globally recognized certification level competencies as accreditors. They are able to locate accreditation as an activity within the general framework of quality assurance. So we let them know, of course, those who participated in the first module know that accreditation is not quality assurance. Quality assurance is the umbrella term. Accreditation is a subset of that activity. So our participants today are able to analyze different instruments for conducting accreditation across the world. They're able to identify similarities and differences among accreditation practices in at least 6 countries in different regions of the world. They're able to conduct practical exercises using real-life scenarios on different segments of an accreditation instrument. They're able to carry out self-study, programmatic self-study, institutional self-study. They're able to conduct program and institutional accreditation. They're able to so they are loaded. They are really loaded. Number 8 is important. They're able to demonstrate competencies in virtual accreditation. They're able to forecast the future of accreditation for current trends, and they're able to rank faculties and universities based on accreditation results. We had times higher education officials come to teach us how ranking is done. And then they're able to provide solutions to challenges to accreditation, including corruption and human and material capital deficit. So how is the certificate graded? Now, all the participants that had minimum of 70% in the practicals, because we make this to be skills-based, not just theoretical answering multiple choice questions. No. Now they did practical exercises, and based on their scores on practical exercises, if you get for the Saturday practicals, if you get minimum of 70% in all of them, then you'll be a certified accreditor, alongside with earning minimum of 620 points cumulatively for credit, for merit, as you can see on the screen. Now, if you ask me, this training qualifies for the Guinness Book of Records as the most rigorous training of higher education accreditors in Africa. There's no other that can beat this, and I'm sure that the chair president Cynthia and the rest of us CIQG people will applaud these efforts. Now we have come out with the directory of certified accreditors, those who qualified 620 and above, and who excelled in the practicals. We have a certificate. We have a directory which covers these areas: accreditors and administration and management, agriculture, health, architecture, arts, and the rest that you can see on the screen. So once again, it's a delight to welcome you to this event, and I have the honor and pleasure to call on the Vice Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Olufemi Peters, to take the floor and address us for 2 minutes.
Your Excellencies, distinguished invitees, our graduates, first I want to welcome you and congratulate the graduates who have just been told over 440 quality assurance practitioners, senior academics from some African countries, including Burundi, Malawi, Ghana, and could you believe it, as the Facilitator General said, vice chancellors who, despite their schedules, found time over the 6 weeks to take part in this intensive training. The outcome, I believe, will be increased awareness and deliberate consciousness to improve the quality of teaching and learning in our various institutions and our country. I want to thank the Virtual Institute for this quality assurance workshop series. This is the second in the series, and to express the readiness of the National Open University of Nigeria to continue to partake and serve as technical partners in the running of these capacity building workshops. Finally, I want to congratulate the ES, His Eminence, Professor Adamu Rashid, the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, and the Facilitator General, our own distinguished emeritus, Professor Peter Okebukola, and I wish the Institute more landmark achievements. I again want to congratulate the graduates and thank you for participation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much.
Thank
Our
you.
Vice Chancellor, Professor Olufemi Peters, very brilliant speech and you kept well within time. Back to you, Dr. Adesina.
Thank you very much, sir. I will go to the very next item in the agenda, which is having remarks from Dr. Mariam Saleh, Director of Accreditation in the National Universities Commission, NUC. Over to you, Ma, for 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. The Executive Secretary, National Universities Commission, Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid, members of the NUC Strategy Advisory Committee, the keynote speaker, Professor Judith Ethan, the Vice Chancellor, National Open University of Nigeria, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am Mariam Saleh, Director of Accreditation, National Universities Commission. Today is a day of joy to both the organizers of the recently concluded training program and the participants. The training given to participants that we are celebrating today is very educative to accreditors and those in the quality assurance business and beyond reasonable doubt. Therefore, I thank the Executive Secretary, NUC, Professor Abubakar Rashid, for the support he gave that led to the success of the laudable training exercise. Also thank the organizers of the program, that is the Facilitator General, Professor Peter Okebukola, and his able team, the NUC Strategy Advisory Committee members under the auspices of the NUC, the National Open University of Nigeria, now the African Quality Assurance Network, African, and the Global University Network for Innovation in Africa, that's IGUNI Africa, for their remarkable efforts that culminated to what we are witnessing today. Let me also appreciate all the assessors and the resource persons for their dedication and hard work towards the success of the program. Finally, I congratulate all the participants who painstakingly went through the training program and wish them success in their future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Dr. Miriam Saleh. Dr. Adewale, I'm not able to see Professor Maria Luisa in the room. Did you see her? Apparently, she's here to join us. So we just, President African, are you in the room, madam? If not, we'll come back to her as soon as she comes in. We may then go to the goodwill messages from our special guest of honor, and we will kindly request that they present their goodwill messages within 1 minute. My pleasure to invite Professor Rukayat Ahmed Rufai, former Honorable Minister of Education of Nigeria, representing Stratcom, to present her goodwill message. After which, Professor Olushola Oyewole will then come, and then we'll have Professor Juma Shabani, and then Cynthia will come, and then Obafela Bankolema will take the floor. So, Your Honorable Minister, you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
It is, as usual, a pleasure to be part of this very important innovation approach to enhancing quality education delivery in Nigeria. I'm really very excited that processes that used to take a long time and energy to carry out are now being utilized technologically to be executed, thus saving time and resources. It is also much safer. I congratulate once again the leaders of the National Universities Commission and the National Open University of Nigeria, and of course the key partners, the Global University Network for Innovation Africa and the Africa Quality Assurance Network. With the way we are going in the development of our quality assurance officials, the Nigerian higher education sector, and of course, the African sector will benefit immensely from the impact of this. The extent of ideas, new collaborations, and partnerships are all key outcomes from this and will make our institutions much better. There is still more to be done in the light of the challenges that we wish to address in the African continent. I therefore have no doubt that these key organizations will continue to partner to deliver quality capacity strengthening programs for quality assurance. So I congratulate the participants and congratulate you also. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Your Excellency, our Honorable Minister of Education. When she was Honorable Minister of Education for 4 years, she transformed the education landscape, and we had very glorious time, and we're delighted that you are still leading us in these efforts. My pleasure to invite Professor, thank you, Your Excellency, Professor Olushola Oyewole, the Secretary General of the Association of African Universities, to give us his goodwill message. Professor Oyewole, sir, Your Excellency.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor Okebukola. Greetings from the Association of African Universities in Accra, Ghana. This is to congratulate the graduates of this virtual course on accreditation. We say congratulations to the National University Commission, the Open University of Nigeria, and the Facilitator General, our own Professor Peter Okebukola, a great ambassador of higher education in Africa. This program is an innovative approach to capacity building in higher education. We hope to adopt this innovative model in our capacity building program across Africa. Congratulations once again to the Nigerian higher education system. We are very proud of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, Professor Oyewole. We are also very proud of you, sir. And AAU has seen nothing yet. With you on the steering wheel, that operation is going to be glorious. Can we move on now to the chairman, Burundi National Commission for Higher Education, Professor Juma Shabani. Juma, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. On behalf of the Burundi National Commission for Higher Education, I should like to congratulate most sincerely all the learners who have successfully completed this module 2.
We cannot see you, sir. We cannot see you, Professor Shabani. I'm not sure. But carry on if your video cannot.
Okay, I am here, yes. No congratulations also to the facilitators, and more especially congratulations to the chief host, Professor Rashid, and also to the Director General, Facilitator General of the Virtual Institute, Professor Peter Okebukola. This effort will really benefit, the whole Africa will benefit from this effort. So thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you so very much, Your Excellency, Professor Juma Shabani. We're now moving on to Washington, D.C. We're going to cheer and able to welcome Professor Cynthia Jackson Hammond, the president of CHAIR. Cynthia, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, and congratulations to the outstanding participants of the Institute for Capacity Building in Higher Education. I bring you salutations from the Council for Higher Education Accreditation and the CHIA International Quality Group. You are to be commended for the successful completion of preparation and for your commitment to foster high academic quality expectations and performance in higher education. Your continuous work will enhance the trajectory of academic integrity across the globe and will ensure that students will receive the best academic preparation possible. This type of work is rigorous, intentional, and forward-thinking. No doubt, each of you will have a huge impact on students, families, and communities abroad. The Council for Higher Education Accreditation and CHIA International Quality Group are ready to assist you in any way possible, and we stand with you on your professional journey. Thank you, Dr. Okebukola, for the invitation to attend and speak to this wonderful group of academics. A special salute to Professor Olorende from Alpha Babalola University, my professional colleague. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so very much, Cynthia. Thank you for the offer of partnership of our different organizations with CHIA. And I would like to commend you on the excellent work that you are doing as president of chair in your very early days. We're sure that you will continue that tempo. We're moving on now to the Senior Special Assistant to the President of Nigeria on education interventions, Mr. Bafela Bankolemo. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, Professor Goodwill. Thank you for having me. Please permit me to stand on the protocols that are well established. I'm delighted to be here today and to speak to you as you complete this training on accreditation. It excites me because I know that accreditation plays a key part in improving our education system all across the world, especially in Nigeria and Africa. To the participants and organizers of this training, I say well done, and I hope we continue to strive to maintain and sustain world-class educational standards. As you have successfully completed this training program, I implore you to apply the knowledge you've acquired dispassionately. I charge you to do your best in your own little corner. I'm convinced that if we all do our best in our little corner and we aggregate it together, we will improve our education system in Nigeria and Africa together. I say thank you very much. Keep up the good work you're doing. We all need to ensure that we transform our tertiary institutional education in Nigeria and in Africa. God bless you and keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you so very much. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Educational Interventions, His Excellency, Mr. Bafela Bankolemo. I know how passionate you are about improvement of tertiary education. We will get there, sir. We'll get there. Now, it's my pleasure, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. We're moving on to the high point of our program, which is the keynote address. And I'd like to give you a short introduction of our keynote address speaker, Dr. Judith E.S. Eaton. She's President Emeritus of the Council for Higher Education Accreditation Chair. By the way, my trajectory and ours crossed when Chair started 20 years ago. I was also part of the early days of Chair, when I was Executive Secretary, National Universities Commission 20 years ago, and Chair started, and we never missed any of the Chair meetings, and found her to be an outstanding, a unique person indeed. She served as Chancellor of a state system, President of 2 community colleges, President of another higher education association, and she held a number of academic and administrative positions, as well as served as a full-time and part-time faculty member in both a university, serving, by the way, at a community college. Dr. Eaton has authored numerous books, monographs, and articles on many dimensions of higher education. She's known for her clear, direct, and informative writing style. She's always seeking to challenge her readers, always focusing on framing fresh ideas and proposals for action, as well as demonstrating that such suggestions are feasible and realistic. Today, we're going to listen to some of these suggestions that you will find very realistic and penetrating. My pleasure, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, to invite Judith Eaton to take the floor to give us the keynote address. Judith. Judith, are you in the room?
Peter, and I'm going to share my screen now.
Yes, please.
There we are.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Peter, and I appreciate everyone's patience. My congratulations to all of you. I'm honored that there's so many dignitaries participating with us today, and I thank you for this important opportunity. I want to focus a bit on the future of accreditation and our role in that future. There is much that needs to be done. You have been through a very rigorous experience with the Institute. It is most impressive, and congratulations, Peter, to you and your colleagues for the work that you've done. I was listening to what was required during the Institute and wondering, we might make very good use of this in a number of other countries around the world. It is a model. One of the emerging features of the work you're doing is that it's increased your investment in a viable future for accreditation and quality assurance around the world. And I reflected for some time of all the experiences that you've had with the Institute and in your professional work, whether at a university or in a quality assurance body. As we all move forward, what is most important for accreditation of all that we might talk about and take away? And to me, three things are incredibly important to building our future. First, the credibility of accreditation. Second, our leadership in innovation, both in higher education and in accreditation. And third, our leadership in values, the values we espouse, the values we would like to further, both at accreditation and in our university. So let me speak a little bit about each of these. We all know that accreditation is valued in many, many ways, but it's also questioned in many, many ways. And it is increasingly scrutinized. Your opening keynote speaker, Jamil Salmi, made this point about the expanded scrutiny of accreditation around the world and how we deal with that. And in the face of the scrutiny and the questioning, even though the value of accreditation is clear to all of us, how do we build confidence in our work? How do we strengthen the confidence in our work? And two things here. First, around the ethics of our profession, our ethical standards. And I mention this first because accreditation is a process of peer review. And peer review brings with it some skepticism. This is academics looking at academics. We're a guild. It's an insider's game. We're really not being rigorous enough. We're in the US, we say patting each other on the back. And a fair amount of the time, those comments aren't fair. It's not the case because we know what a rigorous enterprise this is. We know how the depth of it. We know how hard we all work. At times, however, we are tempted to sacrifice rigor for our friends. We look the other way. At times, we have some personal gain that we may wish. We may be, gee, I'm looking for another job in a year or two, and I like this university that we're visiting, and it's affecting our judgment. And at times, we may have a conflict of interest or even the appearance of a conflict of interest. And we need to remember all the time that our ethical commitment means that we don't satisfy rigor. We don't look at personal gain. We are conscious of the potential for the appearance or actuality of conflict of interest. And second, in relation to credibility, and this is so obvious, but sometimes it's just not observed, follow good practice. We have international norms for accreditation review, for the preparation for an accreditation review, for how we are conducting a review, whether online or on campus. We have expectations for adherence to accreditation standards. And we always need to keep the importance of good practice in the forefront. These are factors, I think, that help us sustain and enhance our credibility as a quality review activity. moving on to leadership, and first leadership in innovation. I think this is an incredible time for higher education. It's been a difficult time, especially with the pandemic, and we're not through the pandemic yet around the world. Hopefully we will be one day. But the incredible time, I think, is punctuated by two very, very significant changes. And the first is around technology. And I'm not talking about, all right, they're distance learning courses, they're distance learning degrees, they're distance learning institutions. I'm talking about more than that. I'm talking about how we were forced over the last 18 months to incorporate online education as an ongoing accepted part of higher education, and around the world, we were reluctant to do that. We've had enormous technology challenges. I'm talking about how we have moved to accept remote learning as a viable form of learning, and remote teaching as viable. I'm talking about how teaching and learning are affected with artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality, data analytics, big data, all those things that are changing in fundamental ways the teaching and learning experience. We need to embrace this. We need not to just notice it, but we need to incorporate in our thinking how technology is changing the character and fabric of higher education. And similarly with structural change. For most of the history of higher education, traditional institutions, degree granting institutions that were created for that specific higher ed purpose, were in charge of higher education, what it is, and its future. But what we've seen, and this has been emerging over the last 2 decades, alternative providers, Google, Coursera, FutureLearn, Microsoft, different types of organizations, companies, and institutions offering higher education. So the higher education space is becoming itself more diverse with regard to the providers, and the realm of credentialing is becoming more diverse. We talk a lot these days about micro-credentials as well as degrees, and micro-credentials referring to certificates or badges that affirm the completion. It's like the certification from this institute signals that a certain amount of work in higher education has been completed, but it's not the same as, it's not as extensive as a degree. New credentials, new providers move over traditional higher education, make room for us. In addition, in some places around the world, we're seeing new configurations of the traditional institutions. Here in the United States, we see in a number of our individual states, we see independent institutions coming together to form statewide systems. We see statewide systems revising themselves dramatically. We've seen, for example, major research universities team up with for-profit institutions. Purdue Global is an example in Indiana, in Arizona, Arizona State University, teaming up with a for-profit institution. So even within the traditional realm, we're seeing new configurations. Now, that's really critical to accreditation, because it says accreditation, you're looking at different kinds of entities. You're going to have to examine your practice. Innovation extends to accreditation, different kind of standards, different policies, different practices. Really taking a good look and not only matching what is being done in our colleges and universities, but leading it is so important to the future. And then leadership in values. And I want to mention 2 things here. First, academic freedom and institutional autonomy. Both of these are being challenged in many ways in many countries around the world. I only have to mention Hungary, Poland, Hong Kong, some of the changes in China. We're being challenged by our governments, even though we work with our governments, and by the politics of what is going on around the world. Yet, accreditation and higher education are built on academic freedom and institutional autonomy. Freedom and autonomy were major drivers of the creation of accreditation. If we don't guard academic freedom and institutional autonomy, who will? And it is very difficult to do that in many, many countries around the world. What do? My own view is we need to be more public facing. We're very good at making the case for institutional autonomy and academic freedom to ourselves, but are we convincing students and society about the importance of this? Are we keeping accountability in mind when we are focusing on the importance of academic freedom and autonomy? And my dear friend and colleague, Stemanka Uvlish-Trumbish, who is with us today and whom Peter introduced earlier, and I have a short piece in University World News a couple of months ago where we try to lay out this issue about institutional autonomy and what might be done, and I commend that to you. Next, with regard to leadership and values, social justice. The issue of social justice is also paramount around the world right now. I can mention the Sustainable Development Goals, the work of OECD, the work of the World Bank, not to mention what is going on in so many countries. And at the heart of that is, how do we get beyond access to real equity in higher education, greater success with low-income students, refugees, immigrants, racial minorities, women around the world. And what we are going through worldwide, it varies from country to country, is painful but vitally important. We have said that higher education is an engine of social mobility, is an engine of democracy. Well, we have to live up to that even more than we've lived up to it in the past. And that leads me to accreditation, and here's why. As you think about addressing social justice and equity at our institutions, we cannot escape addressing academic excellence. Are our admission standards meeting expectations of equity? Are our graduation requirements? Are the standards we use by which we're judging students' performance meeting our expectations of equity? And accreditation can lead in reflecting on this and building a refreshed approach, a reimagined approach, but for what we consider academic excellence to be. The intersection of social justice and academic excellence is a challenge for all of us, and something very important to accreditation, and accreditation providing leadership. So you've been very patient, and I thank you. What can we do building the future of accreditation? It's about leadership, our credibility, leadership and innovation, and leadership in furthering both the values on which we were built and the values we want higher education and quality assurance to reflect. Life is about choices. We all know that. I believe that giving priority to these challenges constitutes the most important work we can do for accreditation's future, maintaining its strength and maintaining its effectiveness. And I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so very much, Judith Eaton. If you are not aware of it, I will let you know that when Judith was the president of CHAIR, the foundation president of CHAIR, and the foundation somebody who founded the Chair International Quality Group, to which I belong. She was the most powerful person. You know, the American president is ostensibly the most powerful person in the world. Judith was the most powerful person in quality assurance in higher education across the world. So we are lucky to have her deliver this message, this keynote address, to us. You can see, I want all of you, wherever you are, I know I've muted you all, but just do like this to clap to appreciate Judith Eden for that outstanding keynote address. The #1 person in quality assurance in the world, and she has handed over the baton to Cynthia Jackson Hammond. So they are galloping ahead. You know, the ladies are leading us. I'm very jealous because you have Stamenka Valistrumbich, also a lady, and Chita is also there, but women, don't worry, we will get there someday. So we now move on to a very important, the highlight. There were 2 highlights, by the way, the keynote address and the presentation of certificates, prizes. So we have Dr. Adesina to take us through that important part of it.
Thank you very much, Facilitator General and Director of VICBHE. So right now, we are into the very special part of the program where we have awards of certificates and prizes. I'm sharing my screen now. So it begins.
Yeah, so these are the distinction certificates. Congratulations, one and all. Distinction certificates in alphabetical order. I'm sure our participants can locate themselves. Congratulations. Congratulations, the E-Series from Ebiko Chibuzo to a 2-Daye Montero. To Professor Donato Sikupe all the way down to Yetera Susan from Malawi. Still more distinctions are moving from Padisha Juna to Wade Angela. Dr. Ayo Teju Ogun, ending with Omachomu Gideon Sunday. James O'Malley to Nana Sani. You can see Professor Pirix there, Pirix. Rashid Sani, the center leader, is all the way to Yahya Abubakar. Congratulations, one and all. That's distinction. The last, the distinction series in terms of alphabetical ordering. Yahya Lashele and Labid Sam. Hey, those who earn the credits, certificates, Aboki Yusuf, to Jamil Olaleye. Olariwaju up to Hassan Yusuf, credit. Congratulations. Going on to merit now. Merit should come up. Yes, those who can do merit certificate, brilliant people. Hamza Abba, all the way to Haruna Waziz Ruth. And the past category, they did very well. Past category, Gabriel Makorile all the way to Stephanos Zabadi. Congratulations, dear people. Congratulations.
Big congratulations to all our participants with certificates. Now we move on to the award of prizes. Excuse me.
Yeah, the prizes. The first prize goes to Chiyere Usoro of University of Calabar with 818 points. Second is Mohammed Umar, 813, Federal University of Kashere, Gombe State, and the Taiwo Soji. Prizes for the highest scoring participant from Burundi, Yandwe Ramadan. Highest scoring from Ghana, Colette Ama Hupati, and from Malawi, Elias Silongo. Congratulations. Special awards for vice chancellors who earned distinction in the course. You'll find them listed here, and they are coming up. Yes, Isaac Ajayi, Wellspring University, Yolabi Elijah, Mountain Top, Ibi Kafuakwe, Michael and Cecilia Ibro University, Hyacinth Ichoko. You can see them all listed. Ruben Kolo, Ajit Kumar, Annie Nkang, Yitope Ogunbodede, Olarinde, Elizabeth Kirix, and special awards for Resilience and Indefatigability Award. Oh my goodness, to Professor Yitope Ogunbodede, Vice Chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University. Special award to Chairman Board of Trustees who earned a distinction in the course. Professor Samson Fatogun of Samuel Odegbega University. And special awards to NC directors Dr. Biodun Saliu and Dr. Miriam Sali. So congratulations, one and all. Now we're moving on to the segment where we're going to take responses from our participants. You can see we are moving on quite well. And we're going to start with the Vice Chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University, a great medical scientist who earned a special award for resilience and indefatigability. So over to you, Professor Ogunbodede, to take the floor for 1 minute, after which, please listen very carefully. We're going to go in very rapid succession. Professor Fuakwe will come on, Professor Olarinde will come on, Dr. Sali will come on for a Nigerian group. So let's have it. Professor Ogunbodede. If he's not here, let's take Professor Smaranda Olarinde, the professional colleague of our chair president, Professor Cynthia Jackson Amon. Over to you, 1 minute, Your Excellency. Yeah.
Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me to be given the opportunity of a response at today's auspicious occasion that marks our graduation. This is a success story of the human capital development and capacity building within the higher education in Africa. This experience has been amazing, as each of us was brought to reality that the learning process is a lifelong experience. A heartfelt thanks go to our beloved teacher, the Facilitator General, Professor Okebukola. We thank you, sir, who made the learning process very enjoyable and fun-filled. I equally remain grateful to the organizers, facilitators, and all my colleagues in the 2021 class. It is my hope that the course will continue to gain global recognition as a means to raising the standard of higher education in Africa and beyond. To my colleagues, I pray that what we have learned here will reflect in our current practices and the future of accreditation in higher education. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so very much, Vice Chancellor of Babalola University, a legal luminary of no mean repute in the world. Thank you, ma'am. We'll go on to, if Professor Ogunbodede is in the room, you may wish to just unmute and take the floor, but else I'm going on to the Vice Chancellor, Michael and Cecilia Ibro University, Professor Ibiyinka Fuakwe. All right, we're going on to Dr. Biodun Saliu. Dr. Saliu, please take the floor.
Thank you very much, sir. Your Excellencies, for us, participants from the NUC, the focus of Module 2, that is accreditation, occupies a central place in our mandate. And Module 2 has actually positioned us to perform our regulatory and quality assurance functions in the NUS efficiently and effectively. In addition to being certified accreditors, the value that has been added to us individually and collectively in the Commission through this module has given us a leverage of standing with our shoulders high anywhere we find ourselves in the world. So we want to, on this note, express our sincere appreciation to the Facilitator General, Distinguished Professor Peter Okebukola, and all the organizers for making this happen for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Our dear Professor Fuakwe is in the room. Thank you very much. Our Director of Academic Planning, and you earned a distinction, much earned distinction, and it was leadership by example that you gave to the others. Professor Miranda Olarinde is very happy with you. I must tell you that, even though you go to our university to do accreditation, but she's very happy with you. Professor Fuakwe, please take the floor.
Thank you very much. I want to thank especially the Facilitator General, Professor Peter Okebukola, and all our facilitators of the second module on accreditation. It has been 6 weeks of rigorous, hectic, energy-sapping, and exciting time. The Monday live lectures, Friday tests, and Saturday practicum will not be forgotten in a hurry. Personally, I learned a lot about how accreditation process is done in other countries and clients, and I am better poised to ensure I provide a leadership that will nurture my university to attain excellence in all aspects of higher education delivery. Becoming a certified accreditor is also a great achievement and should eventually become a requirement for selecting accreditation panel members. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor Michael and Cecilia, Ibro University. We're very, very proud of you. And we now move on to the Vice Chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University, who, aside from any distinction, earned the special award of resilience, and what is the other one, sir? Indefatigability. Over to you, Professor Ogunbodede. 1 minute, please.
Thank you very much, sir. Distinguished Professor, sir, and Facilitator General. I must say that on behalf of all participants, we appreciate you. We also want to thank the Executive Secretary, Professor Abubakar Adam Rashid, for ensuring that we benefit from this program, for supporting it. And then Dr. Mariam Sali and Dr. Noel Biodu Sali, all our local and international facilitators were really very grateful. In fact, I'm elated. I don't know. I'm just really quite happy today. Benefited not just in terms of knowing so much about program and institutional accreditation now, but I must say also that I gained a lot in the area of educational methodology at its best, using online mode of delivery. And the flexibility with which this course was organized is amazing. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, without sacrificing quality. And that is what amazed me, that we got all this without ever sacrificing quality. And thanks to the doggedness and the perseverance of our Facilitator General and all the others. And I must also want to just conclude by saying that you have combined the welfare of your participants with the acquisition of knowledge. So I've been not just in terms of knowledge of accreditation, but also in terms of the way to treat participants. I didn't know anybody noticed what I was going through. So I want to thank you very much. And I want to say that we got all this without any payment. Thank you very much. And God bless you. And God bless the institutions that actually put this together for us.
Thank you so very much, our Vice Chancellor, Obafemi Awolowo University. Now we're going on to Burundi, and we have Dr. Ramadan Yandwi to take the floor, after which we'll have Madam Colette Ama Hupati from Ghana. Yes, Burundi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. After observing all the protocol, I would like just to remind a wonderful period of 6 weeks we had for lecturers, discussion forums, Friday tests, Saturday practicals, and end of module examination, and then end of course project. All of these activity anchor now with a wonderful, prestigious, globally recognized certificates in accreditation. We thank you for it, and we will never forget those good moments, sir. In this lap of time, I would like to address my thanks to distinguished Professor Peter Okebukola, OFR, for this palatable food for 6 weeks, and Professor Juma Shabani for helping enhancing the quality education in Burundi. My thanks can never match your big hearts and support when it is really needed. Anyway, what I would like to express is above that. I'm grateful for the help you continue to give, me in particular, Burundi and else in the world in general. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ramadan Yandwi. You can see he has beaten us all. He's very good in French. He's francophone. Now he's delivered his good message in English, and he took the training in English. Oh, well done, Dr. Yandwi, and thank you also to Professor Juma Shabani. Now we're going to Ghana, and we're going to listen to Madam Colette Upati from the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. She participated in Module 1, did excellently well, and she did excellently well here now. You have a minute, Madam Colette Upati, to give your remarks.
Thank you, Prof. Your Excellencies, distinguished participants, indeed it is with great pleasure to give a few remarks on this important training session, the close of this important training session. Kindly permit me to convey a special appreciation to the host institution, VICBHE, and the key partners and organizers, that is NUC, NOUN, etc., for this program. A special appreciation goes to the Facilitator General, Professor Peter Okebukola, for his exemplary leadership, and resource persons for sharing important knowledge on quality assurance with us. I thank all participants who attended the training session in spite of our heavy work schedules, and more importantly, meeting the strict timeline for assignments, quizzes, and all projects, and even writing of projects. I'm particularly enthused by the varied experiences shared and the pertinent questions raised on enhancing quality. Indeed, this 6 weeks of exercise has been a very wonderful experience. I am therefore congratulating all participants for your dedication and active engagement in the learning experience. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Madam Colette Upati. Yes, God bless us all. I can see that Dr. Fred Awa, also from Ghana, is smiling all the way, very happy with you. I'm going to take on Malawi, but I just noticed that we missed out Botswana, where Professor Samson Ayolaja is. Professor Samson Ayolaja, if you are able to mute your microphone, I'm going to take you last, and just for 1 minute. Dr. Additional, can you please activate the microphone of Professor Samson Ayolaja? Meantime, let me invite the head of the National Quality Assurance Agency, National Council for Higher Education, Dr. Ambolire Piri. She's ready, very ready to give our remarks. Over to you, Your Excellency, ma'am.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the team from Malawi, I wish to express our most sincere appreciation to you, distinguished Professor Peter Okebukola, and the entire team, and also colleagues from the Module 2 team. We learned a lot. This was just a phenomenal program. The lessons learned have broadened our worldview about accreditation. They've broadened our perspective on principles and practices of accreditation across the world. particularly looking at the region, how our colleagues have improved their systems. We are challenged to do better. We're challenged to ensure consistency, to maintain the momentum that has been demonstrated by our own distinguished Professor, Facilitator General. Thank you very much. We will forever be grateful for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Dr. Ambulire Piri. We look forward to your participating in Module 3, which will happen, God willing, in January of 2022. Professor Samson Anyolaja from Botswana, can you please take the floor? Dr. Additional, were you able to locate him?
No,
okay,
I
that's
couldn't.
fine.
He's not
So
online.
we're going on to listen to the remarks for 1 minute by the best overall participant from University of Calabar, Professor Chinyere Usoro. Professor Chinyere Usoro, please take the floor. Well, if she's not here, then we'll then have to...
Just a minute.
Yes, okay. She was made a co-host, so she's...
Your Excellency,
okay.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Go ahead, please, Professor Usoro.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, our facilitator, distinguished Professor Peter Okebukola, the NC Executive Secretary, Professor Abubakar Rashid, the resource persons, and the entire team of the Virtual Institute that made the Module 2 training possible. To all my fellow participants, congratulations to us on becoming globally recognized certified accreditors. We can all agree that being a student again was an interesting experience. It is an honor to be presented as the best overall participant. May we all strive towards best practices as accreditors. Most importantly, I thank God, and may God bless you all.
Thank you so very much, Professor Chinyere Usoro from University of Calabar. God bless you. God bless us all. Yes, we're going now to listen to the address before we close. The address of His Academic Eminence, Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid, who is unavoidably not with us today, but he has asked the acting executive secretary of the National Universities Commission, Professor Ramon Yusuf, to stand in for him to give us his address. ES, you have the floor, sir. Yes, Adewale is Ramon Yusuf. Can you prompt him?
Ladies and gentlemen, let me quickly apologize on behalf of the Executive Secretary, Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid, although I know that the Facilitator General has already tendered apology on his behalf. So this is another apology. He would have loved to be with us at this very important graduation ceremony, but due to other commitments, he's unable to be here. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the President of Chair, the President Emeritus of Chair, our dear Dr. Judith Eaton, all other dignitaries that have come to grace today's occasion, our partners, the National Open University of Nigeria, Guni Africa, as always, very dependable ally, and encouraging us along the way. The Executive Secretary would like to read this speech on his behalf. And from this point onwards, when I say it is an honor for me, I'm not talking about myself, to be the Professor Abubakar Rashid speaking to us. It is an honor and privilege for me to present this address at a virtual graduation ceremony of Module 2 participants on fundamentals, current practice, and future directions of accreditation in higher education of the Virtual Institute for Capacity Building in Higher Education, VICBHE. We must express deep appreciation to the Almighty God for the enablement to commence and successfully conclude Module 2
of the series of modules on topical higher education subjects that will be delivered through the virtual institute, which I must say has already distinguished itself as a unique platform for building capacity, and it's already sending waves across the world on how to train participants to be impactful at the end of a series of training. Now, as you are aware, accreditation is fundamental to the attainment, maintenance, and enhancement of quality of institutions and indeed the programs they offer for the overall development of mankind and by implication, sustainable improvement in the quality of life. Specifically, accreditation is known to provide information to the public and other interested parties about quality and standards. Accreditation gives credibility to awards and hence to award holders. It engenders confidence in purchasers that they will be making a worthwhile investment when they enroll in programs of higher education institutions. Among other things, accreditation ensures accountability in respect of the investment of public funds, provides clarity regarding the purpose of programs, and of course, enhances quality and standards. The advent of COVID-19 pandemic has introduced a new dimension to the process of accreditation. Many countries are being compelled to engage in hybrid delivery through online and face-to-face models of their programmatic and institutional accreditation procedures. It is interesting that this module has shown some light on the methodology for conducting online or virtual accreditation. Now, of course, this pandemic and the need for this paradigm shift further underscores the importance of Module 2 in bringing higher education institutions and quality assurance agencies up to speed with current trends of accreditation. It is our hope at the National Universities Commission that this will begin, that we shall begin to reap the dividends of this training all over Africa in the not too distant future, as we begin to see more efficient and effective accreditation systems on the continent. In addition to producing certified accreditors that will be ready assessors of accreditation exercises globally, I enjoin the graduating participants to deploy the knowledge gained in this module for the benefit of their respective institutions, be it higher education institution or quality assurance agency. On this note, it is important to emphasize the need to deploy intra and inter-institutional collaboration so that we might build synergies that will give us the opportunity to further cascade the gains of this important module going forward. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have continued to receive positive feedback from Nigerians and our international participants on the knowledge gained from the training through live lectures, practical track, through video lessons, discussion fora, the practical sessions, and weekly tests, which culminated in the final Module 2 examination. The National Universities Commission and indeed the Nigerian university system, including the international participants, will continue to be grateful to the Facilitator General, our very own distinguished Professor Peter Okebukola, who is the backbone and pillar of VICBHE. The success story being told of VICBHE today can be largely attributed to the contribution, dedication, and commitment of this global higher education juggernaut. My appreciation also goes to the Vice Chancellor of the National Open University, our technical partner, Professor Professor Femi Peters, for technical support from NOUN, and the resource persons, the global resource persons, including Professor Jamil Salmi, a global education expert and former head of tertiary education at the World Bank, Our friend, Dr. Douglas Blackstock, the Chief Executive of Quality Assurance Agency of the United Kingdom, Dr. Zachary Leary of CAMES, Professor Concepcion Piero, Senior Quality Assurance experts, and so many of our distinguished participants and facilitators from across the world. We are very grateful to you all. Of course, we must also express some appreciation to our own Dr. Biodun Saliu, our Director of Academic Planning, who has also been a bulwark in achieving the objectives of this institute. Of course, our Director of Quality Assurance, Director of Accreditation, Dr. Miriam Salih, has also proven her mettle. I therefore congratulate all participants of VICBHE for successfully completing Module 2 and becoming certified accreditors. You are fully certified and qualified to participate in any higher education accreditation anywhere in the world. More power to your elbows. I must, at this juncture, single out the 62 distinguished Vice Chancellors who are part of this training as participants. The humility that they have demonstrated by showing leadership by example is commendable. Their respective institutions will no doubt begin to exhibit the impact of this training very soon, and it will be evident to all. We are particularly pleased that with this crop of Vice Chancellors, our desire to have a very robust culture of institutional quality across the university system will be a thing of joy, as these are leaders who we expect will lead by example, and therefore quality assurance will be well and alive with a vibrant culture in these institutions. On this note, I wish to thank you very much for your attention, and may God bless us all.
Thank you so very much, Your Excellency, Academic Eminence, Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid, speaking through Professor Suleiman Ramon Yusuf, the Acting Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission. This speech is broad, is comprehensive, and very, very heartwarming. We thank you, sir. The last but one item is the announcement and closing, after which we'll have the national anthem. By way of announcement, I'd like to let all our participants know that today is your glorious day, and we're going to have lunch. You are all going to assemble at Capitol Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. We are having lunch there. I've arranged lunch for you electronically, e-lunch. So just wait for it. Just relax after we have closed, and just check your inbox, your email inbox. I can see Professor Adejo Okwori is smiling already, ready for the 3-course lunch, actually 5-course lunch. That Capital Hilton Hotel has been told to serve pounded yam. So pounded yam is coming. Idikan Kong is coming. Dr. Adewale, can you hear me? Is my voice breaking or is good? Adewale? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is my voice coming out nice? Is it coming out? Can you hear me without any robotic noise?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine. So
yes,
that's the announcement. That announcement is very important. When we finish, just relax, and then you will see you get a ticket from Capitol Hilton Hotel where your lunch is going to be served. And like I said, it's 3-course lunch, and the Assistant Facilitator General, Professor Monilua Olaniyi, and the Deputy Facilitator General, Dr. Biodun Saliu, will be leading you to Capitol Hilton Hotel. Now, your certificates are ready. They will start to dispatch them today. Before the end of the week, you're going to get all your certificates. How wonderful that is. The next module, as I said, is going to come up in January. And that one is going to be something else. Quite exciting. And it is free. Participation is free. You wonder, how come it is free? It's free because the National Open University of Nigeria, the #1 open university in the whole of Africa, is powering it. You see, there are several open universities in Africa, maybe like 40, 50 or whatever, but the National Open University of Nigeria enrolling 600,000 students, over 600,000 students delivering top quality education is the one that is powering this and taking the cost, and as well as NUC. So that will be it. And we would like to, I would now like to yield to Dr. Adewale Adesina to render the national anthem, and then we have the recession. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So we've come to the end of today's graduation ceremony. A big congratulations to everyone. So right now we'll take the national anthem. I would just like us to get on our feet.